Hi everyone and welcome to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to be making French onion soup. It is so delicious, you guys, and so easy. And this would be nice for a dinner party, just to probably put it over the top. It's really good. So let's get started. You're going to need 8 yellow onions. Now, make sure you yellow, because once you start cooking them and releasing the juices out of them, they become really sweet, and that's what you're looking for. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut your onion skin off. And just prep all your onions at one time. Cut them all and get them ready. Then you're going to take off the outer layer. And what you're looking for is a clean, smooth layer. Now, if yours has, let me show you because mine has it. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so if yours has like a little bit more yellow, just take that extra layer off. It's not good, and it will never soften. It'll get kind of bittery, okay? So I'm going to do all my onions, and then I'll come back and show you how to slice them. Alright, so I have all my onions prepped. It was easy. It goes like in 5 minutes, you guys. Don't worry about it. So if you don't have a slicer like I have, just go ahead and take a knife and just slice your onions. Put it down flat on your cutting board and just slice thin, not too thin, but thin enough so that they'll cook evenly. Just like that. Okay? Just about that thin. And then we'll move on to our next stage. I'll cut these and come back. Alright, now that our onions are all cut, you're going to get a deep pan. I'm using cast iron. You can use like a soup pot or whatever. And you're going to add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter to it. And 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And let that butter melt. Okay. I'm just going to let that butter melt a little bit. Now, this is one recipe you do not want to rush, okay? If you don't have time to make it, don't make it. Because you really want to cook these onions low and slow. If you turn them up too high, they're just going to burn. You want them to turn brown, golden brown, but not burnt. Alright, so I'm going to, my butter's almost melted. I'm going to add my onion. Okay, I'm going to add my onions. Now, it looks like a ton of onions, you guys. It won't be. This will cook down to like nothing. If you have too small of a pot, you can do it in 2 stages if you'd like. That's the only thing I can recommend for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to stir this, make sure that the butter and oil gets on all of it. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it down to about 4. And you want to keep stirring these like every 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to let them get started here. Alright, so my onions have been cooking for 10 minutes, okay? They should look like this, pretty soft, and now you see you don't have a ton of onion in there. And you're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. Don't add a lot of sugar, you don't want it sweet. All you're doing is adding the sugar to help brown the onions, okay? So now stir in that sugar, and now we're going to cook these for 30 to 45 minutes or until they're nice and golden brown. And you got to keep stirring them like every 3 to 5 minutes so they don't stick to the bottom, okay? So my onions are almost done. I'll show you they're nice and brown and caramelized. That's what you want. You're going to add 1 teaspoon of flour and cook that for about 2 minutes. And keep stirring it. You're going to add 2 cloves of minced garlic. Let that cook for a couple of minutes to release the juices out of that and get the flavor going. Alright, so now you're going to add a half a cup of port wine. Now port wine is just a sweet red wine. So I'm going to use this. I just got a small one. It's Barefoot Sweet Red Blend. I'm going to try it. You do not have to add this. It just gives the soup a depth of flavor. We're going to cook this until all the alcohol is cooked off. So you're not even going to taste the alcohol. Alright, so I'm going to cook this for about 3 minutes. And keep stirring it and scrape the goodies off the bottom of the pan.
Smells wonderful.
I'll turn this down just a little bit. Alright, once the wine has cooked out, now we're going to add 8 cups of beef stock. If you don't have stock, use broth. The stock is just richer. I had a stock open, so I'm just using that in a broth. Okay. This is one of those recipes where you can double it or whatever you want to do. It would work perfect. It's just getting those onions brown. You might have to do 2 pans. All right, so I'm adding my other 4 cups of broth. Now I'm going to add, let me look to make sure I'm reading. 1 teaspoon of salt, a little bit of fresh thyme, however much fresh thyme you want. I didn't put a lot in, I don't like it. 2 bay leaves. And now we're going to cook this. We're going to bring it to a boil. So let's do that. Then we're going to turn it down. And we're going to put a lid on it, not tight, kind of off kilter. And we're going to let it simmer for 30 minutes. So as soon as this comes up to a boil, I'm going to put the lid on and we're going to simmer it for 30 minutes. Alright, our soup is almost done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make the bread or the crouton that goes inside. If you want to do it really easy, just buy some croutons and throw them in. That's fine if you want to do that. I'm going to show you how to do it with fresh bread. This is a French bread. I prefer the baguettes, but I couldn't find them, so I'm just going to use this. So what you're going to do is about a 1/2 inch thick on the diagonal, okay? So kind of just go like this. You don't want them too thick. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to brush both sides with olive oil. It doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of brush it around. Make sure your oven is preheating to 400. Just gonna rub it around. This end piece will be for Jack to eat, of course. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on. Now I'm going to put it olive oil side down so that we can brush the other side. Okay. And then we're going to stick it in our preheated oven for about 6 to 8 minutes or until the edges are nice golden brown. Just keep an eye on it in the oven, okay? Okay. I'm going to stick these in my oven for 6 to 8 minutes until golden brown. Alright, so what you want to do now is you want to take your bread out of the oven. It's nice and crispy. And you're going to set your oven to broil now, okay? So while that's heating up to broil, I'm going to spoon some soup into a bowl. Now, if you have oven-proof bowls, you can do this on the broiler. I don't know where mine are. We moved. I can't find them. So what you want to do is put some soup in a bowl. I have Swiss and Gruyere from Trader Joe's. Gruyere is good. Swiss is good. They're both great together, okay? So sprinkle a lot of cheese on top. Okay. And now just let that set. Now what we're going to do with these, we're going to put some cheese on top of them, because this is what you would do if you had broil safe dishes. You would just put the bread on top of the soup and put the whole soup bowl under the broiler.
Like the Crocs.
Like the soup Crocs, exactly. And I am using a silk pad under mine because this cheese is going to melt all over the pan. You can use parchment paper. You don't have to use anything if you don't want to. I'm going to get a little bit more cheese out only because we like it really cheesy. I keep all my cheese in the freezer and just use it right out of the freezer. And when you're done and don't use it all, put it right back in. Okay, this is a little bit bigger slices. That's okay. And I did want to tell you that I added just a little bit, maybe less than a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce to my finished product. I felt it really needed it. It was a little bland to me. I added more salt and pepper at the end due to taste. And I just added a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. It just gave it a little bit more of a taste, balance of the taste, okay? You don't have to add it if you don't want to. If you like it the way it is, leave it. Alright, I'm going to stick my bread under the broiler, but I am going to watch it. I just want this cheese to melt and get a little bit crisp. So just stand here and watch it, because it will burn quickly. Alright, so now that the bread is done, your cheese is almost melted in your soup, which is what you want. Now just take a piece of bread. Mine got a little burnt, but it's fine. And you're just going to put it right on top of your soup. Let that soup soak up that juice. I'm going to put a little bit more juice on top of it, just to get it soaking into your bread. And there you have it, French onion soup. So remember to please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's free. And remember, you do you.